Live right now?
Should be live. Yeah. You want to talk to the camera?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a special episode of Reels Talk with Amanda and Omar live. What'd you say?
I said I'm coming.
Oh, Omar's coming in a second. He is just getting everything set up
Like
back behind us right now.
like
Let
the
me turn
microphone.
that microphone on. Now I'm going to talk.
There you go.
There we go. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to a special episode of Reels Talk with Amanda and Omar.
Why is this so special?
Because we are doing it live, we're drinking a lot of beer, and we're talking about a very divisive topic, I think, and that is the topic of TV series finales. Um,
Divisive, huh?
yeah, well, because I think everyone has different opinions about their TV shows, how they ended, especially in light of Game of Thrones.
I was gonna say,
all
was
the
this
differing
brought
opinions.
to because of Game of Thrones?
100% to us.
100%. Okay.
So, yeah. So that is why we are deciding to do this live episode. We're going to talk about what makes a good TV series finale and also talk about some of the ones we think are the best and some of the worst. And so definitely, if you guys are watching live, go ahead and start commenting, like, what are some of your favorites and what are some of the ones that you think you could do without, which need to be,
let's give it some time when we get more people in here. But
Yes,
let's talk. So obviously this was brought about because of
Game of
a lot of
Thrones.
people's feelings getting hurt on Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, Tim Klein, stop watching us and go finish Doom
Doom
Patrol. 'Cause
Patrol. No, that's also
that series is amazing.
Yeah.
Doom Patrol is great.
But you know what? You can also just pause it and come back to it because it's, the DC Universe app. So
You could technically just pause us, but you don't know if Amanda or I are going to spill beer on
which
our
is probably gonna
equipment,
happen, so.
or some
There you
words
go.
might be slurred, some things might be said that shouldn't normally be said. Oh, he can multitask. Awesome. Cool. Um, Well, thank you for joining us, Tim, and anybody else that's out there right now watching us live.
Yes.
Again, Amanda and we had some technical difficulties about
Yes.
when we did our show.
On
We were trying to do it
Wednesday.
we were trying to do a live show on Wednesday, and apparently YouTube was
Having issues with the Google Hangouts. For some reason, it was kept
Yeah.
redirecting, and it was be a failure. Other channels actually experienced it because after we did some research to try to find the answer to our problem, we noticed a lot of posts and things like that from other people who also do have YouTube channels posting about the same exact error. It has been resolved from what we can assume by last night. So, luckily for Old Read and New Read on Tuesday, we shouldn't have any issues, guys. So there we go. And also, big announcement too, and we'll announce it again at the end of the episode. We are live with our t-shirts. So if you want a near mint condition t-shirt, head over to Redbubble and go ahead and type in near mint condition. You can get it on a t-shirt, you can get it on a hoodie, you can get it on a long sleeve shirt, you can get it a sticker. So you have a lot of options to choose from. So if you want a near mint condition shirt, make sure you go ahead and check out Redbubble for our.
Are you going to put the link in the description?
Yes, we'll put after the show.
Or
we'll
you can put it in the
description.
chat too.
Oh, definitely.
So this is a really good question. Are there going to be spoilers? So before we talk about the ending of an episode, we'll name the show. How about
Yes.
that? And then we'll talk about the spoiler, just to give you guys a heads up.
Yeah.
Just in case, you have issues. Like, even though the show is 20 years old, if you've never seen The Sopranos,
And you plan on seeing it,
right?
Yeah.
I hate to spoil anything for anybody. I try to do the same thing when I do my comic book overviews too, because I realize some people haven't had a chance
Yeah.
to experience some of these stories. Now, it might have been spoiled to you other ways, but not here. So thank you, Tim, buying all the stuff.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Awesome. So,
Okay, Amanda, how do we want to do this? By the way,
Yeah.
Super Chat is on too. We
Yes,
forgot to mention that.
Super Chat is always
Chat's
on,
on
yep.
in case you want to get our attention, because we're both easily distracted. So
We are
Amanda
very.
has this wonderful spreadsheet that she's put together.
Not a spreadsheet.
It's called Word
It's called Google Docs.
Docs.
So let's dive in it too. So when we think of like TV series finales, in your mind, what do you look for in a TV series finale? What makes it
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. How so?
I want to be satisfied.
Okay, but that's the gray area. So how do you want to be satisfied?
No, I mean, that's the thing about TV shows, right? That no matter how wonderful the TV show is, it all depends on the ending, how amazing the ride's going to be, right?
Yes.
Like, seasons 1 through 6 could be amazing, and you're like, this is the best show ever. It'll have a season 7, and then the ending is just like, and it was all a dream, and that, and that just pisses people off. So
talking about one show.
no. I mean, there's several shows that have ended that way.
Yes,
several shows have
definitely.
ended in the it was only a dream. So I think it really depends on how well that last episode is, because that's what makes or breaks the show. No matter how great your show is, if that last episode sucks, that might break the show from being one of the greatest shows.
Yeah.
I mean, Game of Thrones is a perfect example. There are a lot of people that were like, "Oh, Game of Thrones is the best show ever," from seasons 1 through 6. Season 7 came out, and then season 8. Right.
This is season 8.
So people were so disappointed by that ending that they were like, "No, Game of Thrones was not that good of a show," because based on that last season and that ending alone, they automatically were like, "No, it wasn't that good." Which sucks, right?
Yeah.
But that happens a lot. Lost, right? Lost season 1, everybody was on board. Heroes. Now I stopped watching Heroes long before the damn finale, so that didn't even make my list, because honestly I haven't seen the ending of Heroes. So
no, but
good for you if you all had.
Exactly. Wire's the best show. Hey, Cyclops is better than Wolverine.
I'm talking about The Wire, my man. Thank you. Cyclops is better than Wolverine, even though it pains me to say that name. I agree with you.
But I enjoy that you have that name, so he has to say
I'm going to name myself Wolverine is a lot better than Cyclops. That'll be my new username. Instead of the
good,
Uncanny
Layton.
Omar.
Okay, you already know what happens in Lost. Okay, well, and we will be talking about Lost, I think.
Don't you badmouth Lost. Okay. So, right, Lost is one of those shows that, another thing like Game of Thrones, people either love or hate. So, this is, by the way, we mentioned this earlier. We will name the show, just in case you haven't seen it.
Exactly.
So you can put us on mute, and then we'll talk about the ending. So,
yes.
you want to talk about bad or good first?
Let's talk about...
Justified was solid. I wish it would have been... If my list was top 10, but since I'm doing this with Amanda and we're only trying to keep it to about an hour or so, we try to do like 5 or so shows each. So.
Yeah, and Taylor... You're
Mitchell?
right about... Yeah, Taylor Mitchell, you're right about... It is hard to write a series finale, but there are shows that can do it very well. And that's what I think we're going to exemplify here in our thing. Because it's all about... When you have your characters, you have your plots... And what I think, to me, is what's satisfying is when there's consistency and where the characters and the plot end up, it's consistent with how the show's been running. When they take a left turn that looks like it's out of field, or if things are left, not that I want everything resolved, because they can always have hints of a resolution, but never a full resolution, but when things were left out that shouldn't have been left out, that why would you take us on that journey just to leave it hanging for the, and never, those are issues that I think people have with some series finales, and just being duped, right? Thinking it's all going to be one thing, and then you get this, epic conclusion, and it's not what you expect it to be. So yeah, let's talk about some of the best TV series finales.
Oh, you want to go with best first instead of worst?
Okay, let's go with worst. I think a lot of the worst ones we have are the same ones.
We're going to be split, because I feel like when we say some of the worst, some people on the chat will be like, no, that was great. Or the comments.
Let's talk about the first one, because Taylor, you brought this TV show up, and that's Seinfeld. And I thought
we were going dinosaurs, but sure.
No,
Seinfeld.
Except it's on both of our lists as far as one.
I think it's a lot of people think it's split down the middle. A lot of people think it's great. It's a good send off to the characters. A lot of people think it was bad. Yeah, Boardwalk Empire was awesome. I love the first 2 seasons, but when old dude slept with his mom, it got dumb after that, and that I didn't even care for the ending.
But Seinfeld. Let's talk about Seinfeld. So yeah, Seinfeld is considered like one of the worst season finales.
You think so? I thought it was split, but
No, I mean, well,
I can see why.
In when you look at a lot of like polls and stuff like that, it leads up there. But there are a lot of fans that like it. I mean, for you, what was some of the things you didn't like about the Seinfeld series finale?
Well, the whole show was based on how horrible these 4 people were, right?
Yeah.
And how all these other people put up with them for all these years, like the soup Nazi or anybody, and then they all show up at this trial and they find them guilty of just, in the end, just being horrible people. But that to me just signified that it was just, obviously they were out of ideas and had no idea how to wrap this show up, so they all went to prison for being bad.
Yes, yeah, and there was a lot of flashbacks and things like that, which is fine. But when you have a series finale, in shows like Seinfeld, Friends, things like that, you always have those episodes where they're just the filler episodes where they're just doing flashbacks to other seasons because either they're taking a break or whatever the case may be. They want an easy episode where the actors don't have to do much because of whatever reason, right? And I think a lot of people felt like, why were they doing that? And I think even Jerry Seinfeld himself has come out and said, maybe in hindsight I wouldn't have done that finale, but I just didn't know exactly how to end this. And, he wanted to try to do what he could, and he's convinced there just is no good real ending for Seinfeld, and I would agree with that with a lot of sitcoms. There's no good way to end a sitcom. It's not like a long running drama like Game of Thrones that should have a definite conclusion, right? Because these are people living their everyday lives. What's up? What we drinking? It is a local beer from Frankfort, Kentucky. Historically good beer called Steak Lusher. But you can only get it basically here. So I'm sorry, guys.
We're hipsters.
We're
We
so
like local
hipster.
brewery.
Yep.
No, I
Some
just drink
local
whatever
brewery.
Amanda has in her fridge.
Aw, Cyclops. He's watching Martin during that time. That's
Oh,
funny.
hell yeah. Now, Martin was fucked up. I know this is the rise from the conversation because Tia, what's her name, like filed a sexual harassment suit against Martin, but they both were under contract to do one more season. So the final season of Martin, and I'm sure he knows, they were never in the same room, even though they were living in the same apartment and supposed to be, well, at the time, I think husband and wife. They were never in the same shots. It's so weird to go back and watch that last season and creepy. What's another? We're going worst.
Let's talk about dinosaurs
Yeah,
because you brought it
dinosaurs.
up, and I was like, oh, I remember that a long time ago when I was a young child.
Me too. I was a young child as well. So yeah, dinosaurs. I don't know if y'all ever watched it. So if you haven't, I don't suggest going back and watching it.
You can go back and watch it.
It
though.
did have a lot of social commentary for the
No,
time.
it's on Hulu. If you can go back and watch Dinosaurs, my daughter has watched it and she says,
Was it Jim Henson?
It was Henson puppets.
So it was a bunch of puppets that were dinosaurs, and the last episode, and it's such a because it was a comedy, right? And then it turned into like this social commentary, which it did that from time to time.
Yeah.
But then the final episode was a warning about where our planet is going and how we should recycle and things because it just won't stop snowing.
Yeah, they're getting in the ice age, right?
And they're talking to the baby like, we don't know what's going to happen. But hey, everything might be okay because dinosaurs have been around for over 150 million years. And the baby's like, where are we going? And the family's like, it doesn't matter as long as we're all together.
Yeah.
And they look out the window with this ominous soundtrack and then it cuts to black. And then when it comes back on, it's the newscaster that's normally there. And he's like, well, things are getting worse. And so good night, everybody. And then it like slowly fades off. And then you hear him say, and goodbye. And I was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Like, none of that is funny.
For something that's like a prime time, like supposed to be like family kind of, watch together show, that is a kind of dark way to end something like that.
Thank you, Richard Espinosa. That's mighty nice of you.
Oh, thank you, Richard Espinosa.
Yeah, so
have fun at work.
Really
Really
weird
dark.
ending to a otherwise comedy, or
Yeah, and I'm sure it had its social commentaries for sure, but to
That's
go that
right.
overt,
and it was thank you, Cyclops.
It's better than Wolverine.
I'm not gonna finish that. The dad is the one that fucked up the planet at his new job.
At his new job.
He's like, I just didn't do my job.
I didn't do my job.
Man, what a weird ending. All right, so in the chat, what are some of your all's worst series finales? And we're gonna keep going with ours.
We have a couple of them. Like, let's talk about Dexter next, because I think that's one we both feel is just.
I gave up on Dexter after season 3, so I stopped watching it.
I watched the whole thing, guys.
Oh, God bless you. I did that with Weeds, which I can talk about here in a minute. But so I stopped because I was like, yeah, it's just not that good anymore. And then Memphis Rock, is that Philip Evans?
Oh,
is this another Paul Rudd fan?
Thank you, Memphis Rocks.
Oh,
You had
man.
to super chat that one to get our attention.
So I didn't even finish or watch anything in Dexter past season 3. And then I just watched the series finale because I feel like, I spent 3 years watching it. I might as well try.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you kind of expected a different thing.
I'm glad I did not waste my time watching those other seasons because that show. So you have this character that's a serial killer, right? Or I guess sort of.
Yes.
But
he is a serial killer, for lack of a better word.
His punishment, or I guess his ending, is that he gets to be a lumberjack.
Yeah, he gets to be free and be a lumberjack. It's not that he gets any kind of punishment. He doesn't die. And you kind of feel like, so what was the point of all this? What has he learned through all of this? He sends his kid off with another serial killer, basically.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, he rides off with his dead sister's body. And I know him and, I forget the actress's name, they had gotten a divorce right before this last season. And so I think that's kind of what a lot of the industry talk is that's what strained this last season. That's why they wanted to finish it in the way it did. So I think that might have had to do with how the writing and things went because they had to keep them kind of separate and all this stuff.
Like Martin.
But yeah, regardless, it wasn't really not the ending that we would expect because it didn't give you any sense of closure or any satisfaction because nothing really ended up. Not that you need it to end up where you want it to be, but even in any kind of an acceptable way.
Yeah. So Cyclops, we're not talking about cartoons because I really wanted to, but then
I want to talk about Avatar.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Futurama, but I was like, there's just way too many cartoons, and that could be another show. So why don't we save that for another day?
We'll do cartoon.
But he's right though. David the Gnome was weird the way that it ended. I know it's cliche at the moment since everyone's piling on it, but Game of Thrones was real underwhelming. We'll
mention Game of Thrones. I think that's the most divisive one right now that is on the charts.
What else do you have on the worst?
So another one that I wanted to talk about is How I Met Your Mother, because I think that was one of those 1-2 punches that we weren't expecting. I know you never watched it. And
I saw 3 episodes because of Will.
I watched a lot of it because it was on. By the time I started watching, it was on syndication, right? So I could watch it during the syndication runs. Almost lost my beer.
How did you almost lose that beer?
And
like it wasn't even moving.
So you expect when you hear like Ted talking to his kids and and telling the story about how he met his mother that he doesn't meet her until like the very last half of our last season, and then it's really weird how this season finale or series finale is all about they get married, you see their life together, she gets cancer and she dies, and you're like, holy crap, and then it cuts to him and his older children, and they're like, well, this story's all about Aunt Robin. Like, you really love Aunt Robin, right? Like, why don't you go be with her? And I'm like, that's a really weird thing for you kids to say when your mom's dead. And so it's all about him being with Robin. And if none of you have seen How I Met Your Mother, I'm sorry.
I do have a question. Yeah. Or apparently she's not sorry because it's one of the worst endings and you saved yourself some time. Now, I watched the first couple of episodes. Was Bob Saget also in the end? Because he was the narrator.
No, he wasn't. It was Ted. It was the actor who plays Ted.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Bob, even though the whole time it's Bob Saget's voice doing that voiceover. No, it was the character who played Ted. He has the blue French horn. He comes to Aunt Robin's, window in her apartment, and now they're together. Because their kid's like, it's okay, it's Aunt Robin. I don't know. It was like really weird because that's not how I was expecting. I would have expected it to Aunt Robin was the actual mother or something along the line. So I was just, disappointed by that ending supremely because it just 1-2 punch and it didn't even leave you satisfied. You're like, that really? We waited all those seasons for that? So.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of seasons too.
So what else do we have under worst? Or what did I put? I put Weeds.
You put Weeds. Talk about Weeds. I've never seen Weeds.
So that's
I have to
what's
watch,
her name? Kenji, the same lady that did Orange is the New Black. Same showrunner. And for some reason,
having its finale this.
And for some reason, I always end up watching her stupid shows. Even Orange is the New Black, even though it hasn't been good like since season 2 probably or 3. And yeah, Weeds is just the show that I kept watching. But God, I wish they would just put it out of its misery. Andy became just a one-dimensional character again from like season 1. Even season 1, Andy towards the end was better. And then the lead character, she just became a bitch. And you're like, why are you doing these selfish things? None of these characters have changed, which was my problem with Scrubs, but I didn't put that on the list too because I didn't like that 9th season of Scrubs, even though they were trying to market it as something else, I think, at the time, like Scrubs Community Hospital College Blues or whatever the hell it was called. Yeah. But no, Weeds was just, it was a show that went a lot longer than it should have.
Daredevil did end on a high note. It sucks because I really
Where did you see Daredevil?
That's what Bandito said. Just mentioned that in the chat.
Absolutely, it did. They knew. I remember we reviewed it, and I was like,
they were this is a series finale.
They were writing it as this was it, and you were like, no, there's gonna be more because they set up bullseye. And I'm like, no, they're not.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I'll never say it again.
No, they're not, because they went out with a bang, and that's exactly how you. That's how Angel went out, and I love the which we'll talk about.
We'll talk about that
series.
Yeah, Cyclops will get to that too.
Okay, so let's see what else do you have under bad. I think that's it.
Well, the last thing I want to talk about was The Office, because I think. Not only the fact that and that's why we have Jim here, with his Jello. Inhumans was stapler in there? Terrible. No, there's no stapler.
What's up, Gio? Weekend Geekdom, great guy. Check out his channel.
The Office, not only did it go on 2 more seasons too long, but the ending of it was just so sappy, and the best part about the ending was honestly when Kelly and Ryan left the wedding together and left Kelly's baby with her
Mohinder
with
from
Mohinder. Yes,
Heroes.
from Heroes. Yes, with her husband, or Ryan's baby with Mohinder. I think to me that might be it just ended very, with the two parts. They had the documentary, and it was all about Jim and Pam, and Jim realizing that, everyone thinks Pam is so terrible, and then had a nice Michael moment that shows up, and he literally was there just for 2 seconds.
It was not a nice moment at all, because it should have been. Okay, so
I
stopped. I stopped watching The Office when Michael left, because I just didn't care. Actually, I stopped watching it before he left, and I just watched the 2 episodes where he left.
Yeah.
And then my wife and I watched the series finale, and there was so much that had changed. Like, Andy was a dickhead. Pam and Jim were having marital problems. It just became a stereotypical show, and you're focused on the entire cast now, and less more of the core, right?
Exactly.
Andy and Jim are
they
friends.
tried to pull a lot of
the problem was that when everybody's together telling stories, they should have had what's his name, Steve Carell in there with them.
Yeah.
Like, that would have made sense for everybody just to come in one last time, but no, it's everybody just reminiscing about these goofy times that happened, and you can't do that when the heart and the soul of the show is not there. And that's why it was one of the that honestly, that was the last 2 seasons of that show were just horrible.
Yeah, so. And Iron Carl, you're right. Goodbye Michael probably was the true series finale.
Absolutely.
And that's how it should have ended. Because the whole
nobody watched that show because Pam and Jim or Dwight's farm. Like,
they did not watch.
It was the chemistry between the characters and how everybody interacted to this weird manager. That was Michael Scott.
Exactly. And that's what the British Office knew, and that's why it ended where it ended. And I think that had it only had 3 seasons. I think it ended better than, obviously, this Office did, was because Ricky Gervais, they knew this is all about, David in their case, but...
The American Office, the British Office was only 2 series.
2 seasons,
and then a little movie.
Yeah.
That showed, which is what they should have done here.
Because there's some 5, 6, and 7 were hit or miss on The Office. Anyways, they were really stretching everything out. So, definitely The Office is on my list for the worst.
All right. So, I think there's a lot more, we were trying to limit ourselves to what are the ones that were just so bad that we had to bring up. I never watched all Felicity's, but I watched the ending, so I get why people were upset with that ending.
Time travel in Felicity does not make sense, and out of a left turn, I don't care if it's her Wiccan, it doesn't make sense.
We also left out shows like Rome or Carnival that got canceled, but even though Rome got wrapped up really nice. Now, Deadwood, there's high hope for that ending, because we're finally getting a movie after a decade of waiting and letting some of those... I'm very excited and very upset that they took this long, because the villain of the freaking show is dead in real life. The actor. Anyway.
Cardinal, I don't want to break it to you, because we're going to talk about the Parks and Rec ending, so you might want to just cover your ears, because I do want to talk about that ending.
Not yet, but what are we talking about with the best TV series?
Best TV series.
Or do you want to go down the middle? Do you want to go ones that people split?
I don't care about the middle stuff.
Don't care.
There's all of these could be considered middle, or in the middle for some people.
Wrong.
It doesn't. Okay.
Wrong. Everybody loves The Wire ending.
I've never seen The Wire, so I don't know. We'll have to watch it.
You do too. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the best ones. So I think both of us put 6 Feet Under on our list.
Absolutely.
Which is it's funny because I guess about a few weeks ago we were talking about the ending of Game of Thrones, and we didn't know how it was going to end, and we're like, we're talking with the other cousins.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we were talking with his brother Tommy. He's like, 6 Feet Under, I think I'm going to go watch it again, because I think about that song, and I did. I watched it on YouTube, the last half of that, and I just started crying.
It's a beautiful ending.
It's so beautiful, because the whole show's about death, and so you see these characters, and remember, guys, that we're talking about 6 Feet Under. So we're going to have spoilers. So to see how each one of them dies, I think is so beautiful as the sister is driving away, which is how Omar said this is what they should do on Game of Thrones, because screw it. By this point, it should be Tyrion driving down while everything's...
Divine said definitely started watching because of that video from Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. She was chugging it. I just took a picture. So I love the ending of 6 Feet Under. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it starts off with Claire going off to California. She's leaving her family.
Yep.
or was she going to New York? No, Cali. So she hugs her mom, and her mom, was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you so much." Hey, what's up, Ray? And then Claire's like, thank you for giving me life.
Yeah.
And her
Oh,
and her mom looks at her and she's like, thank you for giving me life. And I'll fucking lose it from that
yes.
moment until she gets in the car. You see everybody die because it's
Oh.
kind of the way that life should be. Like, especially when David sees, oh God, I can never remember his husband's name.
I can't remember his name either.
But whenever he sees him as a young guy, even though he'd been dead for about 20 years.
Yes.
And I think that's the way, we want to see our loved ones when we pass. It's a beautiful ending. It's a nice show ender. And even though the whole show was about death, the last segment, I would say, 10 minutes or something like that, is about how these characters lived their life.
Yes.
And then came to an end. And it's beautifully done, poetically, and even the song, man.
Exactly. It is really beautiful. So another one I want to talk about just recently ended. I don't think you've watched this show.
What's that?
That's Veep. With Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And so we already talked about Seinfeld. Where
that just recently ended.
It just ended.
So just in case you're just now tuning in,
yes,
we're naming the show, and then we're going to talk about the ending.
And this one just
in case
ended
you haven't
right
watched
before Game of Thrones on HBO. So if you haven't, go binge watch this season. So for those who don't know what Veep is, basically Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character is a vice president, and she has a very inept, self-centered, egotistical, terrible people. So it is like Seinfeld, but in the White House, right? They're all horrible human beings, but yet you still kind of want to root for them. So the series finale is basically she finally gets all she wants to do is be president. She has had a lot of opportunities. They always screw it up majorly. No one really likes her. But she does what she does best in it, and that is being herself and wheeling and dealing, and to the point where she betrays the only character who's loyal to her through the last seasons, and that's Gary, her bag handler. She betrays him because of this, her ex-husband was doing some back money dealing with their foundation, but she blames it on him, and he ends up getting chartered away so she can become president. And the best thing is, it flashes forward to her funeral, and it's perfect because you see all the characters now. They're aged, all her her staff members and stuff. They're still kind of horrible people, and then you see in true Selena Meyer fashion, she invites all of her enemies to sit in the front row at her funeral. Mm-hmm. And then her daughter is not even there. She's watching it with her wife, and she's cheering and toasting it. And I think that, to me, is exactly how you'd want Veep to end, because that you don't want Selena Meyer to win at the end of the day, because she's not the greatest person.
Right.
So, yeah.
While Amanda goes and checks on her little girl, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite endings, and she'll be right back, I promise, because this is not the... Oh, man, look, we only have 5 viewers now that you left.
Sorry.
Now you know who brings in the views, right? So, right now, we're talking about best episodes or best series finales. So she had mentioned Veep, and I'm going to talk about... We had talked about 6 Feet Under, so I'll name the show and then talk about the ending. Let's see what she wrote. Oh, she only wrote her episodes. Great. Let me see if my brain works. Sopranos! Anybody like The Sopranos here? So if you haven't seen The Sopranos and you want to go back and watch it, now's the time to stop listening. Yeah, you did miss the terrible Dexter discussion. Man, that was a little bit ago. So, Sopranos. This is one of those, I think, that's in the middle. Some people hate it. Some people love it. I happen to love it. It's one of my favorites. Just, so the whole, it's about a mobster, Tony Soprano, doing his mobster thing. But it's also about him being a family man and how he keeps it all together and how he keeps this violence away from his family. But then when it's out that people are like, all right, yes, Iron Cardinal. Drink to you, my friend, for loving The Sopranos as much as I do. And the ending was fine. So when it's out that he is, a hitman's out to get him or his family, it ends with Journey's song at the very end. And it's in this, see, make havoc, we're split, man. I love that ending. And it ends at this restaurant where his family's meeting him. The whole time you're kind of on the edge of your seats because there's all these things happening where somebody's going to the bathroom and you're like, oh man, that guy's going to go get a gun to come and kill Tony Soprano. What's up, Nick Schmidt? And then, the door keeps opening. You keep looking with them. The family's looking as to who's coming through the door. So you're in suspense the entire time. And then they're waiting on the sister. So that's where it ends. Just stops. Cuts to black. And I remember watching it, and a lot of people did this too. I thought my cable had gone out, and I was so pissed off. I'm like, you can't. I called the cable provider, and then I saw the actual credits roll, and I was like, oh my god, no way, this is how it ends. So yeah, it just ends, and I guess that's kind of like life, right? Like that's what it means. I guess that's what it's supposed to mean, that life just goes on, and you don't need to know where these characters ended up. And I thought, yeah, thank you. Iron Cardinal also thought his TV broke. I just thought my cable went out. And yeah, so I think no, Omar's starting to drink some more. That's the problem. Not starting to sweat. I do these shows all the time, Drew. I can handle it. So the problem that a lot of people have with that show is that they didn't have a definitive ending. Like Tony Soprano didn't get his due. Uh, a lot of the characters, a lot of the side characters have been killed off, and everybody wanted to see either the demise of Tony or him going to prison, but we didn't get that. We just kind of got the credits, and that's it. And I was happy with that. I was good with that. I know a lot of people were pissed off, but I'm good with that. I can finish Casa de Papel while she's gone. But there's a lot of shows that I stopped watching that I never got to the ending, and then I heard the ending was really horrible too. So, like, I never finished House of Cards. Did anybody here finish House of Cards? Because I did not. Because I kind of figured once, it was the character of Kevin Spacey's character. So I figured when they took him off the show, what they didn't even advertise it. I didn't even know it was out and completed. So let's see what else we got on this list. We have Sex in the City, which I cannot talk about that until she gets here. I did like the Justified ending. That almost made it to my list. So I'm going to talk about another one of mine while I'm waiting on Amanda. I'm not sure what she's doing. She could have left the house. That's going to be awkward when she texts me. So I'm going to talk about The Wonder Years. Did anybody watch The Wonder Years? 80s show, but the 60s. So I'm going to talk about the ending. Omar is getting tipsy yet. All right, wait. Before I talk about The Wonder Years. All right, yeah, so the X-Files. I love season 1 of the X-Files. But X-Files is one of those shows that I was like, yeah, the truth is out there, but I don't think they're ever going to find it. So I didn't even like the series finale of that. Did not like the series finale of the X-Files. Or I liked the first movie. I thought the first one was good. But the second movie, I don't even know if they were trying to wrap shit up. It just didn't end that well. But yes, back to The Office. Or no, not The Office. The Wonder Years. So who didn't have a crush? If you grew up in the 80s, who didn't have a crush on Winnie Cooper, right? So you had Fred Savage's character crushing on Winnie Cooper. And was it Independence Day, I think? There's like this whole parade and stuff, and they're sitting there. Oh, man, it's so beautiful and just childlike innocence. And they're talking about their future and how each one of them are going to go study. I think she was studying abroad, and he was like, he made her a promise that he was going to be at the airport to pick her up when she came back. And then he talks about like what happens after that, like how his dad died of a heart attack like a year after that parade, and what happened to his sister, what happened to his brother. And the whole time it was the guy that's narrating, and I cannot remember the actor's name, but it was one of the burglars from what's his name? Home Alone. Yeah, can never remember the guy's name. But anyway, he was the one narrating the show as adult Kevin Arnold. Kevin Arnold, not Fred Savage. Yeah, this is what happens when I'm buzzing. You left me when I'm drinking. This is not a good... Daniel Stern, thank you!
What happened while I left? I'm sorry,
a lot. People were calling me out. They're like, Omar's sweating bullies. And I'm like, no, Omar's just tipsy and he needs his co-host to carry the show.
Sorry, guys.
So, look, now our viewership is back up to 35. You were gone. They've dropped to like 30. All right, anyway.
Okay.
So, I'm talking about Wonder Years. Yeah.
Okay.
So, he promises Winnie that he would be at the airport to pick her up. And then he goes through all the things that have happened since then. And then you hear, oh, this is beautiful. So he said, and I kept my promise, right? I was at the airport to pick her up years later.
Thank you, Denial.
Nobody ever knows what I'm talking about. And he's like, and I was there with my wife and kid. And you're like, what? Him and Kevin Arnold and Winnie Cooper didn't end up together? What kind of shit is this? But then again, that's life, right?
It
you
is. And he
you
brought up a
make
good
promises in your youth that you expect to keep. Like love when you're a teenager is supposed to last forever. But man, no, thank God you're back, Amanda. Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, I think we're
Wait, you don't have to fucking
I
agree
did
with
not
that.
get-
I love that. I
yes,
love
I'm
that
sorry.
ending. I love that. And then I think you hear his son like, "Hey, Dad, you want to play catch?" And he
Yes,
was like,
it
"Yeah."
is.
Oh
Yes.
my God. I think
Yeah.
I cried. I love that. I love
It's a
that
beautiful
show.
ending, and it doesn't get the love it deserves. Like when I look up like best TV series finales, it actually never makes
I wonder
it.
why. I think it's great.
I think it's just like
I mean, what happened was it got canceled, so
yes,
they ended it the best way possible, same as the another show I'm
Other
gonna talk
yeah.
about. So I thought they did a fine job.
they did. I would agree with that.
Thank you.
Can you pass me another beer while you're saying
I got you. I got you, girl. All right.
Thank you.
So what are we talking about now?
Well, we are talking about Wonder Years. So,
Oh, it was streaming on Netflix, and the problem with Wonder Years, sorry, this is a good question, Henry, is that the fucking copyright on the music is what kept it from going on DVD and Blu-ray and streaming services, because they had to pay an arm and a leg. So when they put it on Netflix, that's not the original song from the Wonder Years, the TV show when it aired. It's like another cover of that Beatles song. The more you know.
the more you know.
Omar is not Garth. Omar is motherfucking Wayne.
You are not.
You are fucking Garth. Actually, I'm Bill. You're Wayne from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Okay. Omar has been drinking a little bit much, you guys, already. So let's talk
I have never been called Garth.
I want to talk about one of my favorite series finales, and that's Parks and Recreation.
That's a good one.
I just rewatched it today or this week, and I really got
I don't know why
teary-eyed all over again.
Cheers, Philip.
Because when you have sitcoms, it's really hard to end them, right? Because we talked about this already. It's just there's little, storylines that go on throughout the seasons, but for the most part, you just see these characters living and growing out their daily lives. So what I loved about the Parks and Rec episode, Leslie and Ben are about to leave Pawnee, Illinois, and Indiana, and they are sitting there in the Parks and Rec department. None of them work there anymore, and some guy comes in and is like, I want one of our swing sets is broken, and can you guys help us? And she's like, no, we can't. Wait, yes, we can, because in true Leslie Knope fashion, she is a public servant through and through. Let's do it, one last project, because she doesn't want to go, right? She doesn't want these people, and it's true of anyone, when you work with group people for so long, they become your friends. I think a lot of people can make testament to that, or you can't, because you may hate your coworkers, I don't know. Or you don't have coworkers, because you work from home. And so they go out to the park, and as they're sitting there, she's trying to say her goodbyes, and as she kind of goes through talking to everyone, you see their futures, right? Not like major, long-time futures, except for John Ralphio's dad.
I don't remember. You remember this more than I do.
Well, I just watched it last week, too.
Oh,
but
okay, that helps.
You see everyone, like Andy and April, going through, like, whether or not they want to have kids. And they have kids. And they don't, and, of course, they do it on Halloween. Like, they have their kid on Halloween. She's dressed in her monster makeup. Like, they keep true to their characters, right? And as you see Leslie and Ben, like, progressing in their own political careers, right? And you get the hints at, like, at Jerry's death, right? Which, obviously, Gary, whatever his real name is, he gets to, he ends up becoming mayor of Pawnee by some default, because everyone actually likes him, because he's actually a good person. He has a beautiful family. He dies surrounded by everyone he loves. And you have a little tidbit of Ben and Leslie there in old age, and they're like, how did Gail still look so great? But there's just a lot of amazing moments like that in it that stay true to all the different characters that we've seen throughout the years. You get Karen, or not Karen,
Sorry, I'm laughing at Aaron Cardinal. He said the thumbnail is now the new laptop background.
Now I forget her. Oh, what's her friend's name? Now I forget it. I know her as Karen Filippelli in The Office, and Rashida Jones' character.
Rashida Jones' character?
Yeah, she comes back. Yeah. Rob Lowe's character comes back, so you get a lot of that. I mentioned the John Ralphio in true form. He tries to pretend he's dead to collect insurance money.
And Perkins.
And Perkins.
I didn't just think of that. Henry McFadden.
Thank you, Henry. You're right. Thank you, Perkins.
Sir. Gentleman and a scholar.
It should be your new laptop background, Iron Cardinal. And it's a wonderfully...
Don't give her a bigger head than she already has.
It's a wonderfully sweet, and not sappy sweet. They're not trying to overdo it. It's just an honest, and it ended, I think it was season 7, so it ended just where it needed to end. It didn't try to go forward like, The Office did or anything like that. And I think by this point, I think NBC kind of knew we need to start ending this stuff where it needs to end and not keep it going forever. And so, to me, Parks and Rec is by far a very satisfying ending. Okay, I'm done with that one.
You all right, that was a good talk. Good talk.
Yeah,
good
good
talk.
talk.
Just a nice little reminder. Don't forget to hit that like button, and we really appreciate it. That helps promote the video while you're in the chat. Unless you're watching us from a television, you don't have all.
Wow, I'm reading Big Noodle's thing
control.
Right now.
Yeah, did you read that?
Yes, we're not gonna do.
I love that. I want to get that drunk. I have been that drunk, by the way.
I would never vape, so I would never see you do that.
I would try it when I'm drunk. I've tried a lot of shit when I'm drinking. Okay. So what do we got here? Best TV endings.
Did you talk about Buffy?
Spoilers. Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Yes.
Joss Whedon's baby started off as a movie, and then they butchered the shit out of his script. Keep going. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
you're. No, I'm just like, I'm saying, like, let's
season
tell,
7.
In
Season
case they didn't know what happened about. Oh, I did watch the series finale. Of course.
Why don't you tell your story?
Oh, just like they all know, they all watch our show. Oh no, they don't.
No, watch it. All right, so Amanda has this thing where we all thought she was the biggest Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan.
I am.
She owns like goddamn 38 novels, which I didn't even know they did that.
Yes, look at these novels. Look, did you guys read that? No,
I would have read the Sander years. But anyway,
no, I don't think.
All these years, we thought that Amanda was a big what the fuck's the name of the show again? Buffy the Vampire Slayer show fan. But no, it turned out that she didn't watch season. You finished season 5,
5, 6. Yeah.
And 7.
No, okay, so here's what I've done.
Oh my goodness.
I've watched episodes of those seasons, but I've never finished it. I did watch the series finale. I wanted to know how it ended. I was curious. I just heard that Angel was going to be back, and that was my true ship. And of course, that shit sailed. They're never going to get back together. Whatever.
Who? Angel and Buffy?
Yes.
Spoilers.
Anyways, but I did watch the series finale.
Okay, what did you think of
all the Slayers being activated all over the world? I thought it was great.
Did you love that?
Yes, I loved it. It was awesome. It was the true testament to girl power that Buffy the Vampire Slayer always has been. And now, that's for Anya. I think I did not decide that she had to go, but
she decided. I think someone else decided for her that she had to die.
So, but there was a lot of great moments in it, and you see our final four because it's Giles and Willow, Xander, and Buffy, which are what we start off with, right? In the first season. So you see all of them, and you see Sarah Michelle Gellar's Buffy getting to rest finally, because she's not the only one. Obviously, it's been thus, continued in graphic novels and comic book series, but regardless, it is.
I love that ending.
Wonderful ending.
When
the Hellmouth just closing it on itself.
Well, and then they find out there's another Hellmouth in Indiana, and they ask, "What are we gonna do now, Buffy?" And the look on her face. And the smile, like anything she wants to, I thought was fucking amazing. Yeah. I love that. But I think the Angel ending was better.
Because Angel Henry McFadden.
So here's the thing with Angel, though.
Which I didn't see because I never watched, and that's another thing. I said this in our show. Don't be shocked by this. I only watched like the first season, and then after Buffy made an appearance and they had sex in that one episode.
Cleveland, thank you, not Indiana. Cleveland, you're right. So I think the Angel ending was better because they knew that series was going to get canceled. Yeah. So they had a budget for 2 seasons. They were like, we're going to get canceled this season. Fuck it. We're going to go all out. So even the special effects and the practical effects went up. I loved it. I love the way that each character endings, and I love the last line of I've always wanted to kill a dragon. Or fight a dragon. Whatever. I like the way that Lorne went off and did his thing. And even though like Angel ended his friendship with Lorne, I thought it was great. A great character send off to a lot of them. Illyria, Wesley. Oh my God, you don't get to find out what happens to Wesley. You don't know about Fred.
We'll watch
you don't know Fred and Illyria, and oh man, it's just so wonderful. Omar has no idea what's going on. I is this live?
Yeah, it is.
We're not editing this?
Nope.
Andrew had the benefit of
Henry brings up a good point, and that's where Angel, they knew they were going to be done so they could end on a high note, where Buffy did kind of go on, and I was not a fan of the whole idea of bringing her back to life and all that jazz, and when I heard about that, I was like, oh God, okay, this is gonna keep going on. And by
I'm
that time,
too
I was
mature for Buffy.
no. By that time, I was in college, and I just had so much on my plate. It was like the last.
And they couldn't
thing
even
I
get
could-
Sarah Michelle Gellar to show up for the last episode. She said she could come in for the last episode, but she was filming a movie for the episode that they needed her in.
Yeah.
What was it called? The Girl in Question or something like that, where Spike and Angel go and try to spy on her because she's dating one of the villains now in France or something. And they just used like a body double to see her back. I don't know. It's just weird. Henry needs to calm down. Season 7 was bad. Wait, no, he doesn't, because you said I have no idea what's going on. I know what's going on. The ending of Alf. Fuck yeah.
Nathan Wood.
That was such a bad.
I would agree with that.
That was such a bad ending, man. The ending of Alf. Fuck that ending. Or the ending of Night Court. See, there's so many shitty endings and good endings we could talk about. All right, so next, one of my favorite endings is Quantum Leap. So if you haven't seen Quantum Leap, now's the time.
By the way, does this make anyone want to go back and watch some like 80s and 90s TV? Because it makes me want to.
Yes, it does. Quantum Leap. The story of Dr. Sam Beckett traveling through time, leaping, if you will, through time. And when he leaped, I don't know if y'all know the premise, but he leaped into like Amanda, and Amanda would you would be leaped out somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Like in a state of like almost not suspended animations, but whatever. But then you look in the mirror and you'd be Dr. Sam Beckett, and you'd be like, oh boy. But anyway, the way it ended was like, the whole time, the premise of the show, this thing got broken, so he's trying to make it back home, right?
Yes.
So this ending is so surreal. It takes place in a bar, and he meets all these people that he's kind of met before through his leapage, because they canceled the show. Yes, we remember Sliders. I remember Sliders. That show went downhill too. But anyway, we'll talk about that. What's his name? Gimli was in that.
John Rhys Davies?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, it's the Lord of the Rings actor. I know who they are.
So, what the fuck was that on?
You're talking about Quantum Leap. But
Quantum Leap, yes.
I don't know if he has anything to go off.
Yes, I do. Quantum Leap. Beautiful ending. Anybody agree with me? So, the ending was Dr. Sam Beckett never went back home. Like, that's how it ends. Like, he leaped back to save Al's marriage and his life and stuff like that. His friend, by the way.
Yes.
And he never made it back home. Like, you just see that written and you're like, that's not fair. We didn't talk about bad. Did we talk about Roseanne as far as one of the bad endings?
No, but we can bring it back up.
Yeah, Roseanne. Does anybody agree how weird that was?
So weird they had to retcon it just for the.
Well, the damn ending was a retcon. We never won the lottery. Everything.
It's just
Dan
fabricated
died.
it for the memoir.
Dan died when he had a heart attack instead of like recuperating. It was just so weird. But yeah, Quantum Leap. That's where it's at, guys. It needs a reboot or a real ending.
We actually have. That'd be something I would be surprised they haven't looked at rebooting yet. They've rebooted everything else. Or they are rebooting everything else. So if anyone knows if they're rebooting Quantum Leap, let us know in the comments or the chat. Because I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up on the list.
Yeah, so what do we got for best here?
Oh, I want to talk about The West Wing.
Oh, great choice. That's a good series.
Oh, there's a series, 7 seasons. To me, it had...
Was it 7? I thought it was 8 for some reason.
No, it was 7. I just watched it on Netflix right now. And, man, that is revisiting that series. I wish President Bartlet was a real human being. I really do. I wish CJ
You wish he would run for...
I wish he was a real human being. But I wish Santos was a real human being. Any of those people are fabulous people. And it just ends on exactly... we've gone through 8 years of President Bartlet, right? And it's Santos's inauguration day, and you just see, it's interesting to see, obviously it's that catchy Sorkin dialogue, everything's still the same. Josh and Donna finally sleep together, wonderful. That's been years of build up. You get Rob Lowe comes back, even though he surreptitiously left because he thought he was the main character. If you ever read Rob Lowe's memoir, he left West Wing because he thought...
I recommend you don't.
No, actually, it's very good. If you want to read, the insights of what happened in the 80s, all those, the Brat Pack and stuff, read Rob Lowe's memoir. It's the stories I tell my friends. It's really good.
Really? What made you... go ahead. Go ahead. We'll talk about that after the show.
We Audible, and he talks, and I love the way he talks. Chris Traeger was his name in Parks and Rec.
When are we doing a Doom Patrol Season 1 review? Oh, my God, I'd love to, but I think I'm 4 episodes behind. How far are you?
I think I'm about 4 episodes behind, ish.
4 episodes behind ish or 9. Yeah. I don't know. Somewhere between then.
I'm not done with my West Wing though.
I'm sorry. Well, somebody was asking.
Oh.
Sorry, Jesse.
No, but you're right.
Super chat that next time, Jesse, so she doesn't get mad at me for interrupting her. All right, West Wing.
West Wing. Yes, it was. So I was just saying it was great because all these you see these characters, and as they're getting ready to transition, the inner workings of how the White House goes through the transition process, and there's like
this is all in Rob Lowe's memoirs.
No.
I'm fucking with you. Yes, the West Wing was great. I love the way it ended.
Yes, and I love how she's like, when her Stalker Channing, who plays his wife, when they're up in the air after everything is done, they've left because the parties are all for President Santos now, and they're going back to New Hampshire, and she's like, "What are you looking at?" He's like, "Tomorrow." Because it's like, this is like his whole life is now ahead of him. He's done being president. He is back to being a regular citizen, and it's just exactly what you want it to be. West Wing was a beautiful ending. It was a beautiful show. Martin Sheen is amazing, and you should check him out on Grace and Frankie because that is also a phenomenal show, and he is hilarious in that as well. But that was my side plug for Grace and Frankie, if anyone hasn't seen that. Two badass women just selling vibrators. What more could you want? Having lots of sex. Their kids are getting in shenanigans. Okay, Philip, because you
super chatted, Philip. So now we have to answer that. I'm
gonna go ahead and binge this, and we will try to have a review up.
You're the boss. Call it.
We'll try to have a review up.
Look, you made her nervous, man. She's fucking sweating. She's like, I don't want to watch that shit.
That's not what I was gonna say.
I love Doom Patrols. I'm okay. I'll binge watch them.
Right now, my daughter keeps wanting me to rewatch Batman stuff on DC Universe.
All right. Well, answer the question. The man super chatted.
Let's do Wednesday. Can you do Wednesday?
What the fuck? Wednesday? Dude, I got work. Okay.
We got a 3-day weekend, so me and Omar can watch some stuff here and there and film somewhere.
You can't make promises like that. This is the internet, man. Once it goes there, like we. Yeah. Okay. Wednesday's good. I can do Wednesday.
Okay.
Actually, I am watching this stream using the.
Good for you, McNoodles.
That was a super chat, man.
That was.
You see the stream using the bathroom. What are we talking about?
We were talking about
Paul
West
Rudd's
Wings, but we're
memoirs.
No, but
Okay.
Yeah, Philip, someone else brought up Paul Rudd. We thought it was you in the beginning of this episode, by the way. But it was not you, obviously. So
no, it was somebody from Memphis. Somebody from Memphis? Is Memphis
what was his name? Memphis something. Yeah.
Memphis Bleak. Memphis Rocks 95.
Memphis Rocks brought it up.
That was you. Are you still here or are you in the bathroom too? And don't forget to hit that like button. The Fresh Prince ending, was that good? I can't remember.
Yeah, I haven't been a while since I've seen the Fresh Prince ending. But I also saw Aladdin, guys, if you want to hear my review of that.
Yeah, Amanda, where was I going with that thought?
I don't know.
Yes, Amanda wants to do her first solo review, and I'm encouraging her to do it. So we need at least 5 yeses from the chat. If you all want to see
he
that.
won't go see Aladdin, but I did.
I ain't seen that bullshit. I saw Brightburn. We just reviewed that. That'll be out tomorrow, so check this channel out for our Brightburn review. Unless you don't care or want to see it. All right, so the next one. Somebody asked a question. Am I excited for? Yes, The Mandalorian looks awesome.
Yeah,
man.
It looks really good. I think Jon Favreau is gonna hit out of the park. You know what else? What other Jon Favreau project I'm excited for? Chef, the Netflix series. Because it has a lot of Avengers on it.
How are we going? What? How do we go from A to B, man?
He's doing
like my brain thinks like that when I'm drunk. Your brain thinks like that when you're sober.
Well, Philip, wait till you hear my review about Aladdin.
All right. Well, look. Now you got more than 5 yeses. Only Drew B said no because I'm sure he's a big fan of Robin Williams and his memory. That's why he said no.
Okay. I don't know if you guys think that I'm gonna be like, 10 out of 10 on Aladdin.
Oh, she's gonna love it. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
You do know.
Oh yeah, she told me. Spoilers. She didn't love it.
I didn't love it.
But I'll let her review it, and it'll be on the channel sometime.
Okay. Anyways.
Oh, the stream is frozen, but they can hear us.
Uh-oh. Check it out. It is frozen.
Can you all still hear us now?
Is it my internet?
I don't know.
Oh, it's because I looked at Paul Rudd's birthday. And it's April 6th. It's not even today.
Can hear us, yes, but cannot see us. Why cannot see us? Oh, man. That's not good. Why did it drop? Thanks, Gio.
You want me to check your phone?
I'll check my phone.
Okay.
You stay here.
So if you guys can still hear us, yes, Mr. Toxic Meek Seeks, yes, it is more like an A to C. That's how we got to Or M to C. I'm not really sure how that worked.
Are we
Oh,
back?
we're back. Are we back, guys?
I didn't even have a good frozen face. You do, because you're always looking like you're taking a selfie. Me, I'm like, ugh.
Oh, it's back to normal. Thanks,
Yeah,
Philip. Okay,
right.
it's not frozen
It's not
anymore.
frozen
It's all
anymore.
because I looked up Paul Rudd's birthday, and it's April 6th, for anyone who's curious. All right, so we've talked about a lot of TV series finales. There's other ones
Have we?
I mean,
Have we talked about Sex in the motherfucking City?
Yeah, Mr. Big, going to get our girl. No, we did not talk
I
about
like that.
It was a good
one.
ending. I don't know if anyone here is a Sex and the City fan, but I
If
don't
you're
care
not-
for the movies. But that TV series was pretty
That
great.
show was great. I love fucking... I haven't seen Twin Peaks Season 3, Jesse. I need to watch that. Damn it. Sorry, that was me
Side
talking
note.
to Jesse like he's actually here.
Philip, well, now we know you're right after Paul Rudd. Now remember. And for anyone who wants to know, Sarah Michelle Gellar's birthday is April 14th. So it's a little bit after that.
How about shoes that got canceled too soon?
Well,
the
Firefly.
Back to the Future shoe got canceled. Yes, Firefly.
Okay.
That's the end all be all.
Speaking of Back to the Future, I know this is off topic, guys.
Wait, I had another show. Hold on.
Leftovers. Yeah, Leftovers is amazing, but
The Wire, guys. How have we not talked about The Wire? I love that ending. Despite of how you feel about season 5 and the stupid serial killer shit, The Wire was amazing.
I'll tell you what got canceled too soon. One Day at a Time on Netflix.
I'll let you go and fuck on about the Mindy Project.
I didn't talk about the Mindy Project.
Oh, no, I mean, what's that other show? Veep.
Veep's a great show.
Yeah, it was me,
and so many people have actually seen it.
Right, no, I'm sure it is. But it was like me, remember Homer Simpson in The Simpsons when Ned Flanders talking about cardboard boxes? And Homer's
I was like, when you talk about weeds.
Homer's brain's like, all right, you're on your own. That's the way it was when I was listening to you talk about Veep. Anyway, the hell am I talking about? The Wire. The Wire is amazing. Last season, not so good. Season 2 was sucked too. But the ending of The Wire just wrapped it all really nicely about how everything comes full circle. Even Littlefinger was in The Wire. We did talk about 6 Feet Under. It's one of the best. One of the best.
Yes,
one of the best for
think
sure.
it's one of the best. Yeah.
And if you don't cry at the ending of 6 Feet Under, you have
Michael
no
C.
soul.
Hall was in one of the best and worst, and so is Julia Louis-Dreyfus. There you go.
See, Ray, I love The
You
Wire.
don't
I think
know
it was a
that.
better. Yeah, yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I heard you. You said Michael C. Hall.
Okay.
Mindy Project. The hell did you say? I listen to you. Wait a minute, Omar. You get 1, 3, 4 is the best show ever. 2 is 5 is garbage, dude. 5 had some redeeming qualities to it though, because you learn how the system works from like the inside all the way to the outside. So it brings back McNulty to the whole thing, and it just wraps it up and how everything just comes full circle because that's the way life is. I just sobered up for like 2 seconds to give you a little preaching moment.
I told you that people bring it up. Big Bang Theory. Omar and I do not watch Big Bang Theory.
Is that what BBT stands for?
Yes. We do not watch Big Bang Theory. I've heard it was a very fitting finale and very sweet finale.
The Golden Girls.
That's not our jam. We have never seen the show. And I think the reason I've never really got into Big Bang Theory, and by the way, I know the guy who plays Raj in it. He and I went to Temple University together. He was a master's.
Yeah. Like, Amanda tells me a lot of stupid stories. Like, a lot. And the cool stories that she actually has with hanging out with some of these famous people.
But he wasn't famous at the
time. Like, the girl from Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
Like, she's got pictures with her on Facebook, and I'm like...
what's her name?
Why didn't you show me any of this
before?
What's her name? Poussey,
yeah. I went to Temple University in Philadelphia. I'm from Pennsylvania originally. And I did a lot of stuff with the theater program because my roommate was in theater. And we did Tom Stoppard's On the Razzle. And I was assistant stage manager, and the guy who plays Raj, Kunal Patel, was one of the leads in that. And I hung out with him quite a bit my sophomore year of college before he went off and he had graduated for his master's program and all that stuff, and then became a big actor. And the other girl who played Poussey, she was a freshman when I was a sophomore, but then she left and went to Juilliard. So obviously they've gone on to much bigger things, and I'm sitting here talking about them. Anyways,
well, you know what? You could have gone down that route, but you chose the YouTube route. You chose to hang out and drink some local goddamn fucking Frankfurt Brewery beer with me.
Anywho, but we've never watched. I've seen.
Oh, was that your long answer?
To say I've never seen a lot of Big Bang Theory. Just something about it, just as a nerd, I guess, or as a geek, it just missed the mark for me. So it just was never. Yeah.
Highlander was okay. Homicide, Life on the Street. I like the ending, Ray. I thought it was good. You talking about the movie ending? like when you see the people in the afterlife. I thought that ending was good, man. Well, I dug it.
Yep.
Was another good ending? The Wire. Did I talk about that?
Yes, you did.
These motherfuckers are like season 2's better than season 5. Come on, guys.
Here's one that Omar says is the best, and I want to hear what everyone else's opinion is on this.
Did I say the best?
Right here. I want you to talk about that.
Saying elsewhere.
Not that one.
Which
that
one? The Sopranos?
Yes.
Yeah, I did that while you were downstairs. What did you do with your kid? Just take her outside. Just drop her outside.
She peed herself, so I had to clean her up.
Oh, man.
And then clean up where she went to the bathroom.
Do not Google BBT with H filter off. I'm so Googling BBT
Don't do
right
it,
now.
Stall.
Big, black, big bad.
Okay.
BBT.
So last one that, I think was...
It's a bank.
It is a bank, BB&T, yeah.
Yep. That's it. Gross. Don't need to look at banks. All right. Saying elsewhere. What are we talking about? Dead Air.
No,
Dead Air Amanda. What are you talking about?
I thought we were talking about Say That.
You're the amazing Amanda, not Dead Air Amanda.
Okay, so the last one I want to talk about, which I think people have hit or miss, is the Friends series finale. I watch Friends a lot because it's on Netflix until Warner Brothers takes it off in a couple of years when they start their own streaming app. That's neither here nor there. And it does exactly what you want it to do. Granted, Friends went on for way too long. They were really running out of storylines. Joey became a caricature of himself. So did some of the other characters. I'm surprised.
But by then it got so bad though. Like they were hooking up people with for no reason. Like,
the
whole
Rachel
Ross and Rachel shit just
but they
got
end
old.
up together. They end up together.
You and I differ with this.
But I liked Monica and Chandler's ending because I thought Monica and Chandler's... To me, I don't care about Ross and Rachel. That whole show, ever since... It was always been a Monica and Rachel to me, or Monica and Rachel. That's so.
Now I'd watch the shit out of that.
There's a show one thought was
throw
coming.
Phoebe in there. Yes.
But no, just Monica and Chandler to me was the heart and soul of that show, and to see their little they're the only ones who had actual growth. So to see them progress, they get the children they wanted. They move out to the suburbs, and that ending when they're all staying in that empty apartment and they make the joke about rent control because everyone knows you can't afford an apartment like that in New York City. I know. You see my sister's apartment is tiny and
here's her address.
I'm not telling you that. But it's like $1,800 a month because she lives like 20 minutes from Central Park. Probably, where like Friends would have lived. And but it's like basically a hotel
Thank you,
room.
Scott. You didn't need a super chat
Thank
for
you.
that. That was really sweet.
Yes.
We appreciate the encouraging words.
We do. Anyways, so I think Friends did exactly what it needed to do.
Anyway.
It's a fabulous ending. So I thought Friends was a good ending. We did talk about How I Met Your Mother, Sandman, and Mr. Toxic. We did talk about that as a worst finale because it was a 1-2 punch. They just totally screwed all the audience over with expectations. And I think they were trying to oh, they'll be surprised and happy at this. And no, I don't think anyone was happy with the ending of How I Met Your Mother. There were some great episodes and stuff within How I Met Your Mother throughout the series, but it sucks that the ending had to be what it was because then it almost makes people not even want to recommend the series to people to watch. Which, I mean, you don't need to. It's always on syndication anyways, so you can just get on TBS and it'll be there.
You still talking about West Wing?
No, we're talking about How I Met Your Mother.
All right. One of the shows... So there's a couple shows that I did want to bring up that Amanda was like, we shouldn't, but I'm going to.
Okay.
Because I think these are shows that a lot of people are split down the middle, right? So the first one we're going to talk about is, God damn it! I had a thought. What was it?
See,
I need this over here, not my damn thing. I'm just
up.
looking at
BBT.
BBT.
It's on Google Drive. I put things on Google Drive for a reason. Omar doesn't fall suit, guys.
You gonna call me out online?
Yep.
You gonna call me out while we're live? We gonna do that?
Yes.
I'm gonna do that. All right.
At Stall Hard, I would like to see if Friends come back. All the people I think would be on board. I think even Jennifer Aniston would be on board.
Oh man, this is not gonna end. Go ahead.
Anyways, but
she loves Friends.
I do. I love Friends, and I know some of the stuff in it hasn't aged well as far as political correctness, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's still an amazing show.
Political correctness?
Or not okay, just
what?
Being politically correct and the way the jokes and stuff they make about gay people and things like that. It might not be exactly aged well, but I don't care. It's still an amazing show. And every time I watch the episode where everyone finds out about Monica and Chandler, it is the best episode ever, and I watch it all the time.
I think she's crying. She's crying.
She's
crying. You're crying. You're crying. She's crying. What the? I don't even understand what you're saying half the time, and you're crying. All right, it's okay. I cry too. So how did everybody in the chat and in the comments feel about the ending of Lost?
Yes.
And I say feel. Never mind. What did you all think of the ending of Lost? Are you okay?
Yeah,
You
good.
good? You good?
Shahar, we've talked about several TV series since this.
Several films. Yes, we've talked about best stuff. Our best stuff. She's sorry. I'll take it from here. She's a little teary eyed after talking about fucking Friends. Let's see. Best TV series so far. We have Buffy, West Wing, 6 Feet Under, Friends, For Better or For Worse. I don't know what the hell that means. That's in parentheses. Parks and Recreation, Sex and the City, Veep. That's the one you went on about. Omar's Best. Oh, you wrote that. Good. Sopranos, Wonder Years, Quantum Leap shows my age. 6 Feet Under, and The Wire. I put Saint Elsewhere in there too, but we didn't get to talk about that. Worse, we talked about Dinosaurs, Seinfeld,
Mother, Dexter.
Lost. We're talking about Lost now. The Office and Dexter and Felicity or something. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree they needed more seasons for Game of Thrones.
Okay, we're not talking about Game of Thrones.
I know, but Mr. Toxic, just acknowledging Mr. Toxic, so he knows that his question or his comment's been acknowledged. Go on, Lost. Let's see. They have lost the real ending. I think you're gonna...
This might be the best comment. Can I super chat that for him? He said, "In Lost, fat guy eat everyone. It was clear for me." That might be the best goddamn thing I've read all day. And this might be because I'm drunk, but fuck. Yes, that's what Lost was. Fat guy eat everything. Then that's it. Hurley. What was his name?
Hurley, yes.
Yeah. So the problem with Lost, I remember reading many years ago. So I don't know if y'all know of this guy. He's a comic book writer named Brian K. Vaughan. He went on to be one of the producers on the show after he wrote Why the Last Man. And I remember him leaving television because they were sitting around talking about the ending of Lost, the producers were, and he was like, "Yeah, I disagree with all of this. I'm gone." And he hated that ending so much, the idea of it, that he walked away from getting paid probably a lot more than he's making writing comic books.
And that's Shahar, you bring up a good point. If the ending is bad, is it worth going back to watching the rest of the season?
Well, that's why I said this show is split in the middle, because some people hate it, right, and some people love it. I think it was good. I like the ending.
He liked it. I wanted more explanation. I don't know. I get it. It was purgatory. They all end up in the church.
Spoilers.
Oh,
he hasn't seen it yet.
Okay.
Well, now you don't need to. You can just watch it. Made us 2 seconds. Fucked it up for your review. Nah, I'm kidding.
Because some people died. But apparently there's other stuff. If you get the DVD, there's some epilogue stuff that explains more of everything that has went on.
Okay,
in the series.
And I think Mario. That's a good point. I like the Lost ending, but I was just a casual fan. I wasn't super invested. Right. I didn't have a fucking tattoo of Charlie and Hurley. Hurley, was that his name?
Hurley.
Right. I didn't have a Lost t-shirt or a Paul Rudd t-shirt. Whoever the hell was on that show.
Was it.
All right, whatever.
It did produce David Salvatore, which is Ian Somerhalder. So all of us Vampire Diaries fans are...
Oh, the guy that looked like the guy that should have been casted as Clark Kent in Smallville.
Yes. And he's actually a decent actor.
He's a good actor, unlike that other guy.
Unlike Tom Welling. Yeah.
Lloyd,
I love Tom Welling. It's still fun.
What's up, Baracon? Lloyd, I started watching Orphan Black, but then I stopped. I just couldn't get in it. Only ending that ruined a show for me was How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, we talked about that. That was a bad ending.
We did talk about that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually seen M.A.S.H all the way through.
Oh, M.A.S.H was phenomenal.
Phenomenal ending.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, that was good. I liked
ending.
it. Yeah. I like the follow-up stuff. Not the final follow-up, but the follow-up stuff. I thought it was good.
Wait, we're watching Trunk's season of reviews. That's why Shahar did not understand what I said at all about Lost, which is good. Because I think I mumbled it about
the yeah.
ending. So.
That's how she talks normally. When she gets into something, do you hear?
What about Tom King?
Well, he's getting his Batman and Catwoman series, right?
So that's a good thing. At first, I actually was a little sad for him. I haven't read his stuff yet, so I can't say for his Batman stuff. So I can't say whether or not.
I bought you some books, didn't I? Yeah, you got some books back there. I Am Gotham.
Okay, well.
So anyway, M.A.S.H was phenomenal. There's several others, and it's all subjective anyway. What some people end up loving, some people end up hating. So, which leads to my next question is how all this got started. McNoodles, you're still feeling sick, dude? You need to go to the doctor, man. You were feeling sick on Tuesday. Yeah, we didn't have a show on Wednesday.
And we were asking if you were okay. At first I thought it was because, on Google Hangouts, the back and forth, maybe you're getting sick from that. But since there is no Google Hangouts, now I'm worried that you actually are sick.
Low budget drunk history. Are we frozen again? We're frozen again. I know why. My phone's about to die. That's why. Can they hear us?
Can you guys hear us? Omar said we're frozen again.
So we gotta wrap this up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta wrap this up, guys, in 10 minutes. So, sorry. Well, let's get this started. All right, so this leads us all to why we decided to do this episode.
Sorry, guys. Internet. Kentucky internet. So why we decided to do this episode is
because
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Right? There's a lot of people that are upset about Game of Thrones.
There's petitions for it to be rewritten.
Right.
There is a ton of stuff out there. And it got both of us thinking, you know, with all this talk about this series finale, like what are some of the good ones out there? Like what makes a good series finale? And I think you can kind of tell from the ones that we, you know, have seen that are the best, right? Things aren't rushed. Things are wrapped up to a point, right?
Mm-hmm. You treat the characters like they're real people.
Yes.
And if you're because you invest so much time
yes.
into these shows, you're talking about, you know, while this might be a show to some people, it is life for others. Now, I know my good friend Philip Evans loves the ending of Game of Thrones. Like,
he does.
He's a huge fan of the ending.
The biggest fan of Game of Thrones.
I don't understand where that comes from because I think it was good. It just wasn't the best. But he thinks it's the best TV ending he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And I quote him on that.
And I think what's interesting is I've heard a lot of people like, well, if you watch, that shouldn't ruin the rest of the show for you. But in a sense, with a series like Game of Thrones where it has a beginning and supposed to have a conclusion because it is a long drawn out story with prophecies and all these different plans and stuff like that where you want to get to point A to point B, that if you get to point A and then you never get to the point B that it deserves, you feel let down. So what's the point of watching it? Like with sitcoms, right? You could watch the first 3 seasons of The Office, never see the series finale, but still enjoy the first 3 seasons of The Office because it's an amazing first 3 seasons. Same with Friends, same with Parks and Rec. Well, that still is a great season finale, but whatever I'm talking about. But when it has a really, really bad series finale, do you ever want to revisit it? Like, I've yet to revisit Dexter because what's the point? I don't want to go back and watch it because it doesn't, you know, it's one of those, it has its story that was supposed to have an ending that it didn't land. And that's kind of how Game of Thrones is. Poor Philip Evans is having a stroke right now. Okay, we shouldn't drag him through the mud. He did not like it, guys. He did not like Game of Thrones. We're not going to throw Philip there.
Patacon is speaking for all of Argentina right now.
Okay.
He's saying GOT, Game of Thrones finale, was like the Suicide Squad movie.
But that isn't
that
the
won an
worst.
Oscar. It won an Oscar.
It's an Oscar.
It won an Oscar.
And like I told Omar, Game of Thrones will probably be nominated for Emmys, even though
I'm a fan of lumberjacks that sing about.
I'm a fan of Paul Bunyan.
I was gonna go with Monty Python, but she went with Paul Bunyan. Never mind. Sometimes my co-host, I forget, she's not as old as I am. And that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Were you talking about the West Wing? What were we talking about?
I do love Philip Evans said, I'm going to strangle you.
What? Paul Rudd shit. Paul Rudd shit. Dude, what the hell's wrong? What kind of fetishes are you into, Philip? You're gonna strangle me with his shit? What does that mean?
I definitely should not have drank for this episode. I can't.
You totally need to drink every episode we do.
Anyways, Game of Thrones, obviously, I think that's a lot of reasons why a lot of people are disappointed with it because you invested in a story and then they rushed the story just to get to the end. And what it did is it ended up with characters taking turns that seemed out of left-hand field. And I had actually read a really great article about how people had tried to defend Dany's turn, what was there? It was foreshadowed the whole season, just because she did terrible things. Well, Arya Stark did terrible things too. She killed all of the Frey children and made them into a pie and made Walder Frey eat them. That's a terrible thing. Just like using your dragon to incinerate people.
But that had a natural progression.
No, I know.
She went through seasons.
Exactly, but that's what I'm talking about. You can't just foreshadow because she does these actions that's therefore what's going to make her turn. Mm-hmm. Therefore she's going to be evil. Sansa Stark used Ramsay's dogs on him and killed him. That didn't lead to her becoming a suicide, a maniac, right?
Yeah.
Or a mad queen. So I think that's what the issue is with that.
I think that's everybody's problem with that season finale. It was such a great show, and I think most people can agree the first 6 seasons were amazing. Even what people call the fanfic seasons, right? When Cersei takes down the fucking Citadel with everybody in it. That was amazing. None of that happened in the books. I will try patacon.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out.
By the way, this isn't Maddie. This is the amazing Amanda.
No, he called me Mandy, which I could be Mandy.
You kind of look like Mandy.
More? No, I don't.
Not Patinkin.
Oh my god!
More. Hey, he was a sexy man in fucking Princess Bride, okay?
Yeah, he was.
Inigo Montoya,
maybe
you
Mandy
killed my
Patinkin
father.
From,
Prepare to
from
die.
Homeland. I could be Mandy Patinkin from Homeland. Get the beer.
No,
it's
not...
okay.
All right, I'm out of beer. So let's wrap this up.
Okay.
So, with the Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, we were talking about Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. So whether you loved it or not liked it, like, I don't know. I still think it's one of the best TV shows out there. I love Game of Thrones,
but not the best series finale.
No, but I liked where it ended. I just didn't like how it got there. Except for that
some
whole
of the characters.
And that whole
Maybe
thing
like,
with Dany, letting fucking Jon Snow get that close to her. That makes no sense at all.
Yeah, especially because I think at that point she didn't trust him, and so we believed.
Dude, I love Pisco. They don't have that shit here in America, man. My mom and dad have to smuggle it in when they sneak back. Oops.
What?
So I just ratted them out.
Yeah. But
Pisco sour.
I do
Fuck
appreciate
yes.
that Nick Lodge, whatever his name is, who plays Jaime Lannister, he had put this whole thing on here. Like, why are we starting a petition to have a spin-off series with Arya Stark traveling west of Westeros?
I'm gonna start fucking blocking people that say The Wire season 2 is better than season 5.
Lloyd, I am no longer adjectiveless Amanda.
Yes, she became the amazing
Amanda.
Thanks to crazy comic book crazy. Yes.
And a number of other people who have also requested that be my adjective.
I think it's a little too much, I
think it's perfect as a Spider-Man fan.
That's why.
I wanted an adjective. He has Uncanny Omar, and he is clearly an X-Men fan, I think. I don't know. Are you an X-Men fan?
No, I don't.
No?
I like Michael Bendis' run of X-Men. That's all I know.
That's true.
Can't ban the truth. What? Season 2 was not good. All right, guys. We have to sign off because I'm out of beer, and I need some more. So... next time we do this, I'll bring more beer up here so we don't run out of battery.
Well, we will be doing another live.
Oh, we have t-shirts?
Yes, we do. So we have finally launched our t-shirts on Redbubble, guys. So go ahead. I'm going to put the links in the description of this episode and on our channel, as well as our social media channels as well, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So if you want a lovely shirt with near mint condition
What's
logo,
the name of our show again? Near mint
condition logo.
Uh-huh.
Check out Redbubble. You can even just,
Captain
when you get to
Smart
Redbubble, just search Near Mint Condition.
Or we'll put a link in the description when the show's over.
You can get t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve t-shirts. I'm going to go shopping right now and probably grab myself some things. So
blankets, pillows with our faces on it.
That comes
Do
later.
as you will with those.
Yeah.
Philip Evans.
And, I didn't know that. Anyways, and... we will be doing a live episode.
Condition.
We will be having a review drop tomorrow for Brightburn. So if you guys are curious about our thoughts on Brightburn, the James Gunn produced movie.
Don't give it away. That was half of our review.
Oh, well, I'll just say. Then stay tuned for that tomorrow. It should air probably around like 11 a.m. And then next week, we're going to be doing another live episode with the drinking, probably. And we're going to be talking about...
We are?
Yes.
Okay.
A cool subject that Omar had come up with that I think is really awesome. We're going to be talking about collected editions and how they could help predict what we might expect in the MCU. So it should be a really fun episode. So all of you comic book fans, Marvel fans, movie fans who are interested in maybe seeing like when these collected editions are announced or coming out, what does that mean for the MCU? Well, we have our own thoughts and theories on that. So we'll be doing that next Friday, same time, same place.
We'll have more beer.
I did get a whole case of it.
We'll make. I don't know where the fuck I'm going.
I don't know where he was going with that either.
There is a question here. When is the Aladdin review, Amanda?
I will if we film it, I will try to air it with Brightburn tomorrow.
She's gonna do that.
Yep.
She's gonna do that. What? McDoodles? Alright, I'd like to see that video. At Fan Omar and a message, people hating on his omnibus info. Wait a minute, who's fucking hating on my omnibus info? Those guys are gonna be sorry.
They ever tried.
It's real. Because here's a sneak peek, okay?
Don't give anything away, you have the stuff coming out.
Hey, Patacon says he'll super chat $100 if you sing "Happy" from Pharrell Williams.
Sure. If you want to give us a $100, I will definitely sing "Happy."
As her
by Pharrell.
manager, I will take 75, and she can sing it. Okay, as her active manager, that's what I call myself. In the streets, we're called something else, but here on live television, we're called managers. Sign us off, Amanda.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for notification of more great Near Make Edition.
Hold on.
So
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute, Iron Cardinal. Who doesn't believe me? There's a little kid in here that just walked in here. I didn't see that. Those people are going to be sorry.
It's true, guys.
Because it's true. Yeah. Actually, David told me I could announce his last name. Yeah, so I've been talking to David Gabriel.
David Gabriel. He's the VP of Sales.
VP of Sales. So he's the guy behind all the collected editions. More. He was nice enough to reach out to me. He was a wonderful guy. And I think we both genuinely enjoy talking to each other. So I will, actually, I have Marvel Masterworks I'll be announcing soon.
Yes.
5 Marvel Masterworks if you're into those. So I'll be announcing those
There's some interesting
sometime
ones, too.
next
I saw
week.
the list.
So the Marvel Masterworks forums, those guys are great. I enjoy it. I used to lurk those forums a few years ago before I joined the Facebook group and stuff. So I can't talk ill of them. If they don't believe me, that's cool. Because I am just a dude on YouTube, right? I totally could be making everything up, but no, these things are real. Now the dates could change, but they're totally coming. Now I'm so sorry, amazing Amanda. Can you?
All right, so
don't forget to like that button. Hit that like button.
Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on all of our social media channels at AnimeCon. We do have a Patreon, so make sure to click the link in the description if you want to support our channel. And last but not least, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye, everybody. I have to hit this.
And now Omar has to go.
I always forget this part. Jinx.
One day, we're going to buy a clicker so he could just do it from where we're sitting and just turn it off like it was a TV.
No, man. It's all about practice.